Hey everybody, welcome back to Jackson Jet Setting. Since starting my cruise journey, I've taken over 40 cruises on more than 35 different ships. That's a lot of days at sea, and some were better than others. From the largest ship on Earth to the smallest ship in the fleet, I'll sail on anything that floats, but I do have some clear favorites. Here are my 10 favorite ships that I've sailed on. Before we begin, know that these are just my favorite ships that I've actually sailed on. There are many ships I haven't had the pleasure of cruising on just yet, so your favorite may not be on this list. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. I post tons of cruising content every week, so feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you feel like you love what you see. So let's get started with number 10 on the list, the Carnival Firenze. This ship, brought over to Carnival from sister brand Costa in 2024, is certainly a weird ship if you're used to a traditional Carnival ship. She's themed to Florence. Firenze is Florence in Italian, and there are many venues that are unique to the ship and her sister ship Venezia in the Carnival fleet that was also brought over in a similar way. Carnival ships can be a bit wackily themed, especially the older ones, and while Firenze is certainly a choice of theme for sailings to the Mexican Riviera, she definitely grew on me. I love the size of the ship, which is similar to the Vista-class ships already in Carnival's fleet. The venues felt new to me, but with a few Carnival favorites brought on board with special menus. Guy's Burger Joint is here, for example, with a special Italian-themed menu as well as all of your favorites. If you haven't tried Firenze or Venezia just yet for a sailing, you might enjoy. She was first christened in 2020, so she's still a very new ship, especially for Carnival's fleet. Number 9 is Freedom of the Seas. I was on board Freedom of the Seas in 2023 for a short Bahamas cruise, and I really wish I had more time on board. For one, she's undergone a full amplification, and I think it's quite a success. While she launched in 2004, the amplification has brought on board all the innovations that Royal Caribbean has created for the newer ships, especially some features from the Oasis class of ships. The positioning of Playmaker Sports Bar, for example, is the best in the fleet in my opinion. I felt in the center of the action, it was easy to get to. Since I've sailed on Freedom, she's been renovated once more to add a non-smoking casino on the Royal Promenade, so I'll have to step on board soon and check out all of the changes. Number 8 is Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. She's the very first ship in Virgin Voyages fleet and the first ship that I sailed on and reviewed for the channel, right when cruising started back up again after the pandemic. The Scarlet Lady had just launched, so it was a fresh ship with barely any passengers on board. I would love to sail on her again, or one of her sister ships with more passengers, as this definitely felt like a ship that is designed for a big group energy. My favorite aspects of the ship were the attention to detail in each space on board. Every bar and lounge had its own soundtrack. The only other ships that do that with success are Disney, in my opinion. There were special menus at every bar, there were special food menus as well, and I never felt nickel and dimed on board. The food quality was exceptional and lots of emphasis on exercise and wellness too. The ship just really seemed masterfully designed, so I cannot wait to get back on board soon. Number 7, we are returning back to Royal Caribbean with Wonder of the Seas. I had a chance to sail on her for a 7-night voyage through the Caribbean. When I completed this cruise, she was definitely my favorite Royal Caribbean ship at the time. I think sailing on almost all the other Oasis-class ships and comparing them to Wonder really pushed my opinion of her to the top of my list. She's well designed, she has great shows in the Aqua Theater, Studio B, and the Royal Theater, and she has great dining on board as well, like the Southern-themed Mason jar. I also loved the bright colors used throughout the pool deck, which Royal Caribbean has continued to add to new ships as well as the amplified ones. This is a great ship for a week-long itinerary, but she's sailing 3- and 4-night itineraries now from Miami, so you can step on board for a fun weekend sailing on one of the best ships in the fleet. Number 6 is the MSC Seashore. The MSC Seashore sails out of Port Canaveral on sailings to the Bahamas and the rest of the Caribbean. The ship is huge, and it was my first time in MSC's yacht club when I sailed on her. I think the ship is designed incredibly well. They can pack a ton of things on board, but MSC does have some clunky ship designs with lots of dead ends. The Seashore is no exception to that rule, but the pool decks have a ton of hot tubs and they are spread out all over the place. They never seemed crowded. Especially dining venues felt elegant and were delicious. I was surprised how much I liked Ola Taco. Being from the Southwest, the Mexican food was the best I've had at sea. So MSC ships for the price are the nicest appointed at sea. For the price of a Carnival or NCL voyage, or even lower sometimes, you can really sail on a spectacular ship. Number 5 is the Norwegian Joy. I actually surprised myself when I made this list, as I wouldn't have expected NCL to be so high, but I really did enjoy the NCL Joy. While I don't enjoy a lot of NCL's nickel and diming, the ship itself has a lot going for it. The late night pub on board is a rarity, it seems, nowadays, so this is a great ship for night owls that like a midnight snack. On the top decks, the water slides were fun and intense. The go-karts were a unique activity and a lot of fun, though an extra charge. And I did love the promenade, which almost wrapped around the entire ship. It provided great ocean views from several restaurants and venues, and that's something that's sometimes missed by even the best of ships. Number 4 is the Disney Dream. The Disney Dream is in fact a dream. I think for layout, this ship is absolutely perfect. It's easy to get around, there's minimal dead ends, and it's packed with everything the Disney ships are known for. I loved the D-Lounge, especially the custom LED graphics for each game played in the venue that wrap around. The Aqueduct is a blast, and she's been recently refreshed at dry dock, so she feels brand spanking new. If you made it through the list and are thinking, I need to plan a vacation, we can help. We run a full-service travel agency here at Jackson Jet Setting, and I can provide you with a free quote for your next cruise. Just reach out at jacksonjetsetting.com/book when you're ready. Number 3 is Utopia of the Seas. Utopia of the Seas, the last Oasis-class ship launched, at least for now, sails on 3- and 4-night voyages from Port Canaveral. I think everything about the ship is very similar to the Wonder, with a few key adjustments like the pesky parrot bar and the Royal Railway, pushing it over the top. What I especially enjoyed were custom-designed events just for Utopia, it being a weekend sailing ship. She was designed with a party in mind, so those that are thinking of sailing on her should also keep that note handy. Number 2 is the Disney Magic. So I think that the Disney Magic is possibly the best for Disney Cruise Line, in my opinion, but major caveat here, I have not yet sailed on the Disney Destiny or Disney Treasure, and as a big Disney Parks fan, I do feel like I will like those ships and their themes. The Magic, while the smallest of the Disney ships, is just so elegant. She's themed Art Deco, so it feels like you're sailing on a luxury liner from the 1930s. She's smaller, so she's easy to get around the ship, but with tons of activities and things to do, as Disney does best. I'm so excited for the Magic to come to the west coast of the United States soon, as I think that she's a perfect ship for Pacific and Alaska sailings. Bigger isn't always better. But speaking of bigger, number 1 is Star of the Seas. I know I said that bigger isn't always better, but in the case of my list, Star of the Seas, the current largest cruise ship on Earth, is my number 1, at least for now. Sailing on one of the first cruises was a special treat for me, and it was so fun to be on an Icon-class ship for the first time. I loved the Aquadome being moved indoors, and the Aquadome Market is my favorite food venue on board any Royal Caribbean ship right now. Overlook provides some of the most stunning views at sea. The scale of this ship is just absolutely mind-blowing. The Category 6 water park is an absolute blast. It's a true water park at sea. And pair that with a visit to Thrill Water Park on Coco Cay, and your kids will never stop talking about their vacation. I loved how the ship was designed to separate groups of people from one another to help crowd controlling and maximize guest enjoyment. The Hideaway is a great example. It's hard to get to at the back of the ship, but it's some of the best views from the ship just for adults. Swim Up Bar, Swim and Tonic was also recently made adults only. So the Star of the Seas is perfect for families or adults only. It's not perfect for people that prefer a smaller ship, and that's okay. It's my number 1 ship, but it doesn't have to be yours. What's your favorite ship at sea? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.